In today's video, we're going to be interpreting graph stories. So we're going to be given a certain scenario, and then we're going to have a graph that supports that scenario and read the word problem, read the graph, and then get some information and out of those scenarios and answer some questions that are provided. Okay. Notice that this graph is a function. Okay. We read this graph from left to right. All right. We have a vertical line that only passes through one point of each portion of this graph. So this is how it relates to our function unit. All right. So let's read our scenario. Tyrone left his house and drove to the store. He stopped and went inside. From there, he drove in the same direction until he got to the bank. He stopped and went inside the bank. Then he drove home. The graph shows the number of blocks away from home Tyrone is after X minutes after he left his house until he got back home. All right, so let's take a look at this graph. So from the word problem, notice your X values are the time. The Y values is the distance from home Tyrone is. So he started from home, drove to the bank. No, drove to the store. Stayed in the store for a little bit. Then drove to the bank. Stayed in the bank a little bit. Then drove all the way back home. All right. So you have to interpret a graph, again, like you read a book from left to right, and be able to understand what the scenario is doing from the word problem. So how long was Tyrone in the store? So I'm actually just going to label some parts of it. Okay, so this part is when Tyrone was at the store. Okay, this part is when he's going to be at the bank. All right, so how long was Tyrone at the store? And you can count the number of minutes from once he gets to the store. So here's where he got to the store. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. How many blocks is it from Tyrone's house to the store? So blocks, these are the number of blocks. This is where he's at the store. The number of blocks from the store to his home, right? His home is back here, right? 1, 2, 3. I could just look at the Y value, right? The Y value is just 9, right? So this is going to be 9 blocks from the store to his home. How many blocks is it from the store to the bank? So from the store to the bank, so I have to count the number of vertical blocks from the store and the bank. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And that's where the store is. Okay, so there are 6 blocks, or you could just look at vertically here, right? This is 15 blocks away from home. This is 9 blocks away from home. Between 15 and 9 is 6. Where am I going to write this? There we go. 6 blocks. All right, next question. I'm going to have to switch it around a little bit. Here we go. How far away from his house was Tyrone after 16 minutes? So after 16 minutes, so you go down to 16 and then look up. This is when he was at the bank, right? So at 16 minutes, he was at the bank. The bank is 15 blocks away from home. How long was Tyrone in the bank? All right, let's take a look here. He was at the bank for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like 6 minutes. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minutes. Here's the good questions. What was Tyrone what is Tyrone's driving rate at x equals 12. So at x equals 12, where is that? This is x equals 12. And I'm going to look all the way up to my function and make a little dot right at there. So what is that driving rate? So there's a certain driving rate. He's going at a constant rate of speed from the store to the bank. So another way of saying rate is slope. So the slope from here to the bank is up to right 1, right? So it could be 2 over 1, which reduces to 2, right? That's his slope. What's his rate at 20? We do this at a different color. So at 20, all the way at 20 minutes, we're going to make a little dot here, or where it hits, bam. This one's going down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Or is it 5 over 1? I can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. Looks like it's going 5 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. There we go. Yep. So this one goes down 5, right 1. Down 5, right 1. Get a little room here. And make sure it's negative because it's going down. Negative 5 over 1, which is just negative 5. You could also have done, hey, it goes down 10, right 2, and that reduces to negative 5 over 1 as well. All right. So make sure your rates are simplified as fully as possible when doing this. All right. So that's it for today's lesson. Again, we're taking a look at the scenario. We're reading a graph and interpreting some information from that scenario to be able to answer the questions. So thank you for watching today's video. And remember, whether you are solving for X or Y, always give math a try.